You say, I play.
Nick speaking, and welcome to this battle report. Right, this is the first of the You Say I Play battles, and I'm playing with Tyranid List 1, which I've previously reviewed in another video. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this list. There are a few proxies, mainly on the weapon options more than anything, but it's I'll just run through everything now. So we've got the Winged Hive Tyrant there with Scything Talons. We then have another HQ choice. We've got a Tervigon, no upgrades. And then we have some troops. We've got 3 warriors. They've got lash whips and bone swords tonight. The guy at the front also has a venom cannon. We then have 3 squads of 10 termagants with no upgrades or the basic guns. We then have a squad of 9 ripper swarms to fill out the rest of the troops choices. Going into elites, we've got a brood of 3 lictors, and behind them a brood of 3 zoanthropes, and then we do have the neurothropes there, my old Duma Melanti model. Next to them, fast attack choice, we've got 10 gargoyles, and then 3 shrikes. The shrikes slightly different options, so they've actually got lash whips and bone swords and devourers on those tonight. And then finally, in the heavy support choice, we have a brood of Carnifexes. I'm using old One Eye at the back there as a normal Carnifex. The only one which is WYSIWYG is the one at the front, and he's got a heavy venom cannon, which actually they all are carrying heavy venom cannons. So that is the list, 1750 points. I'm just waiting for my opponent to arrive. I'm sure he will have his Blood Angels on him as always, so I'm really looking forward to this game. Okay, so once he comes, we'll set up and I'll be back. Okay, so here we go then. So we've rolled off, we're playing Crusade. We have 5 objectives. We've got 1 just on top of that building, 1 up over there behind that building, 1 in the crater there on the Blood Angel side, another 1 over there, and the last one is somewhere on my side. Over there we go, right down the end there. So Blood Angels deployed first. And as you can see, they've got a whole bunch of Terminators. So we've got Corbio joined with that squad there. It's a mixture of Lightning Claws and Thunderhammers. And then we have another squad of Terminators there. They're just the standard shooty ones. Is that a Balpred you've got there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2 Balpreds, so 1 that side and 1 up over that side with 10 tacticals in a Rhino. And then, any reserves? No reserves. Okay, so yeah, Blood Angels deployed first. I decided to do a bit of a refused flank. Went over this side of the table, set up my Shrike and Rippers just right on the edge there. I have the Gargoyles, Carnifex Brood and Flyrant just there. Zoanthropes, Warriors and 10 Gants just there. And then the Tervigon and the Gants just there. Going to nominate my Flyrant as the Warlord. I tried to use the Warlord tactical traits, but I rolled a really rubbish one, the one that gave me move through cover in a ruin, so that was useless. Psychic power wise, I've got the Horror and Psychic Scream on the Flyrant, the Tervigon's got Catalyst, and the Zoanthropes have Paroxysm or Paroxysm. I am going to Deep Strike my brood of Lictors. Okay, so it's turn 1 for the Blood Angels. I'm going to see if I can seize the initiative, but I don't have a dice. I'll quickly grab one. Right, here we go. So the dice roll, seize the initiative, a 6. Stolen the initiative. Okay, so it's going to be turn 1 for Tyranids. Okay, so Tyranids turn 1. I moved the Shrike up there, and the Rippers moved and ran up behind them. The Gargoyles moved onto that building there, didn't die from any dangerous train checks. Also ran them forward 4 inches. The blob here, the Flyrant and the Carnifexes also moved and ran just up there. The 3 Warriors moved up behind this building a bit. I generated 10 Gants from the Tervigon there, and he didn't roll any double, so he still can spawn again. There's those Gants there that he generated. These Gants that were there just moved on up, and those moved from over there, so a little swarm going on there along with the Zoanthropes. In the psychic phase, the only powers I got off Feel No Pain on the Tervagon, and he gave it to the Zoanthropes as well. Then the Zoanthropes managed to get Paroxysm off on there, and they were -1 ballistic skill, straight weapon skill. In the shooting phase, didn't actually shoot anything. I just moved, ran basically with a few units. And that was it. So, turn 1 for Tyranids done. Going to move now to turn 2 for the Blood Angels. Okay, so turn 1 for the Blood Angels. They spent the whole turn basically trying to gain some ground on me. So no shooting, everything moved and ran. So the tank moved up over there, turboed fast in the shooting phase, just there. The Terminators here both moved and ran to the central position right on those 2 objectives there. The Scouts moved and also ran, didn't run very far though. And then the 2 tanks that were there, again, they've just turbocharged up over here with both of them. And that was it. Blood Angels now in quite a nice position as we move into turn 2 for Tyranids. We do have some reserves. I don't have a dice once again, so let me just grab one. Right, here we go. So this is for the Lictor Brood. A 2, nope, so they don't come out. Right, so turn 2 for Tyranids. Okay, so Tyranid turn 2. Took the Rippers and the Shrike up over in this direction, and as you can see there, I managed to actually get into assault, 8-inch assault range, and I've managed to wreck it, so that was pretty useful. That was first blood up over there. On the blob area, I moved and ran everything up, along with over here, generating another spawn of Gants. I managed to get 12 Gants this time, and once again I wasn't spawned, so it's getting a nice blob of Gants there. In the psychic phase, I managed to get Feel No Pain off again on the Tervagon and on the Zoanthropes. Then the Zoanthropes did something quite nasty with their Spirit Leech from the Neurothropes. He managed to Spirit Leech those guys there, and the Blood Angel player rolled a 16 leadership, and 6 Terminators died. Built up my Warp Charge, then used the Warp Blast up over on those Terminators there, and I managed to kill 2 of those, I think it was. Leaderships were taken, but no one failed any tests. Shot the 3 Carnifexes, the heavy venom cannons up over into those Terminators, but no damage there at all. And that was pretty much it. So, we're going to move in now to turn 2 for the Blood Angels. I'm going to try and retaliate, I'm sure. Okay, so turn 2 there for the Blood Angels. Both Terminator squads decided to move up. They decided they were going to have a go at charging me. The Scouts moved and ran up over towards the objective, which is just hiding behind that building. And these 2 tanks moved up here. This tank shot at my Tervagon. I didn't manage to I saved 1 wound. The other one I didn't save even with Feel No Pain, so I did take a wound. And then the Terminators tried to assault this squad here, tried to assault these Termagants. I overwatched, I got 1 wound, but he saved it, and then he was out of assault range. So the second Terminator squad decided to assault, and they were also out of assault range. They only needed a 7, they rolled a 5. So this Blood Angel assault army once again failing to assault, which is quite a long told story for this army. Okay, so turn 3 for the Tyranids. So I started off, brought the Shrike and the Rippers over by that objective, just hiding behind the building there. I moved the Gargoyles up, and then moved the big blob of Carnifexes and Flyrant just there. These warriors moved up onto that objective. Over here, the Tervagon, he managed to spawn another 10 Gants, and once again he wasn't constipated, so he's doing pretty well on spawning tonight. Just moved up most of the Gants there to get into shooting range of the Terminators. I shot, in the psychic phase, I put Feel No Pain on that squad of Gants and also on the Tervagon. And then I also tried to do Psychic Scream once again, Psychic Leech, Spirit Leech, whatever it's called. But this time not successful. He managed to get his leadership check without any problems. I did, however, do better with the warp blast. I managed to kill 2 Terminators on that squad there. One with the storm shield and one just normal. And then all my little guns shot in, but they didn't kill anyone. They saved everything there. Did shoot the 3 heavy venom cannons and also the venom cannon into the Terminators, but again, no wounds. My lictors decided to come down here and try to get the rear armour of this Predator. I did fail though, totally whiffed, didn't manage to do anything whatsoever. But over on this tank, the Tervagon came up along with 2 squads of Gants. I assaulted with the Tervagon and then assaulted with the Gants. Now I knew they couldn't obviously hit anything, but I was hoping to surround the tank, wreck it and then cause trouble for the men inside. However, on the penetration table I rolled a 6, and of course it's AP2 attacks, monstrous creature, so it exploded. And I lost 5 or 6 Gants in the explosion. 3 Blood Angels died in the explosion as well, so they're just there. They weren't pinned, however. So that was it for the Tyranid turn 3. We're now going to move into turn 3 for the Blood Angels. Okay, so Blood Angels turn 3. Both the Terminator squads continued their advance towards my blob, and they managed to get into assault this time. So this 4-man squad here took out a bunch of Gants, just 1 Gant left, just holding in synapse range. And then over here, although I started off rolling my Feel No Pains really well, the Thunder Hammers in the end took out the whole unit, and they just consolidated there, just right amongst my blob. Over this side of the table, the tank moved up, shot my Tervagon. I took 1 wound from that. Those guys there rapid fired it in, but I managed to save all the shots. And then the scouts moved up, shot my lictors, took 2 wounds off of one of them, and then assaulted in. I lost another lictor. That one that's left is on 2 wounds. I killed 1 scout in the assault. I tried to do hit and run, but I rolled a 6, so I failed to run away. So they're just locked in combat there. I didn't fail my leadership actually. I rolled really well on my leadership. Okay, so that was it. So I'm going to move on now to turn 4 for the Tyranids. Okay, so that was turn 4 for the Tyranids. Right, I put the Hive Tyrant into swooping mode. He went into the air, moved up over there. I then ran him, and he ran up over onto the objective there, although he currently is in the air. The 3 Carnifexes moved and ran towards that objective, just there. It was then time to try and sort these Terminators out. I think my main objective really was to try and tie them up. I started with Paroxysm, managed to put that onto the Lightning Claw squad. Did help me out, although they did have +1 to their weapon skill because of that special character guy that's in there. But even so, I managed to kill a couple of Terminators, just 1 Terminator left and the character. So I've managed to bog those into close combat. The Gargoyles went into that squad of Terminators. I lost a couple of Gargoyles. The Terminators rolled really bad actually. I tried to do the blinding attacks, but I failed to blind him. So we're just sort of locked in combat there with both units. Over this side of the table, the Tervagon managed to spawn 6, those guys there, and he still is not constipated, so he is spawning really well. The other squad that was there, I assaulted those guys. I lost 2 from Overwatch. We did the assault. I lost another couple. Did no damage on the Marines, but again, just looking them in combat in synapse range with the Tervagon there. The other squad of Gants, I took up and assaulted the Scouts. I managed to kill 3 or 4 Scouts, lost a few of my Gants, lost a wound on the Lictor, but ultimately we've again just locked them in close combat. So that was my turn 4. We're going to now move on to the Blood Angels turn 4. Right, okay, so, well, we looked at the table. I did forget to mention actually last turn that the Tervagon then also took out the Predator, rolled a 6 on armour penetration. But yeah, basically the Blood Angels player has decided to end the game. It's looking a little bit ominous there. I've managed to lock everything up in close combat in Synapse range, so they're not going to be able to free themselves up. And I already have this objective here, this one here and this one here, and my plan was to move these guys around to the final objective just up over there. So that is the end of the game. Really hope you enjoyed the battle report. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Tactical table. Okay, so welcome to this tactical table. So of course we have packed the terrain away. I've got the board up still, just about to pack that away. Just wanted to have a chat about the game. So it was a real fun game. Really enjoyed it. I know my buddy enjoyed it as well. It was quite interesting with his list that he had, because obviously he did change things up. He had his Terminators this time. Now I think I had a bit of an advantage there going second. He deployed obviously his Terminators right in this sort of central position, right next to two objectives. Looking at the table, I decided to basically play the mission. So there was an objective up over by this building, and obviously there was one on my piece of terrain. So my idea was to take these two objectives, let him have one of those two objectives there. I thought he probably would get this one down the side because he had his tactical marines there, so I thought he could have that one, let him have one of those. I'll contest that one, maybe try and get first blood or something. So that was my initial idea. So of course I deployed the Shrike, and to back them up, the Ripper Swarms just over this side. My idea just to go over here basically and get that objective. Did sort of distract the Blood Angels a bit there with his obviously Predator, so he went over there. I think the idea was to try and shoot me. As it was, I managed to get in, and I destroyed that tank, which was really useful. So then I just sort of hid behind there. I did consider taking the Shrike out over there, but in the end I thought it best just to stay there and keep in Synapse range of those Rippers and just hold that objective. And then here my plan was obviously deployed the Flyrant and the Carnifexes with the Gargoyles. Now I could have deployed them there. I was slightly worried about all the Thunder Hammers and Power Fists and stuff, so I thought I'd go a bit more defensive and came up in this position just to try and keep well away, almost like a refused flank with that part of the army. And my idea was to come in late game and cause some trouble. Of course, I had to make it look like I was going to take the objectives over here, so that's why I deployed the Tervagon and the Gants and the Zoanthropes in this area. All of that blob there was really just a distraction, just to make it look like I was going to try and take these objectives, give them something to worry about. And that sort of worked, because he pulled his tanks up over this way, came all the way here to try to get behind this little blob of units to try and sort them out. As it was, they defended themselves pretty well there. Of course, the Zoanthropes had to be star of the day, I think. Their psychic powers really ripped into those Terminators. That was really useful. To the point that he sort of had no choice, but rather than camping on the objectives, he came in to try and damage me. Once he did that, then I was just able to hold him up into the assault, really. So I just kept them in close combat just to tie them up. Once I tied his Terminators up, the squad that was over there, I was free then to move the Flyrant and the Carnifexes up over to that objective and this objective, giving me pretty much all of the objectives and First Blood and Line Breaker. So it was a solid victory, but it was quite challenging in terms of the tactics. I had to really think about how I was going to play the list, which was really good fun. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for the list submission to my subscriber. I definitely learnt a few things, which was quite interesting as well. So if anything, I think I've expanded my abilities with the army, which is great because I've been trying out new units that I have never played before. in certain combinations. So I think overall the experience has been really good, and I am looking forward to playing with some more lists from you guys. So don't forget to go and check out the initial video of this, the You Say I Play introduction video. I'll put a link in the description below. Go and check that out. It's got all the information about submitting lists for me to play. Okay, so that is it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.